Our nation's society is evolving at a faster pace than at any other time in history.
The distribution of wealth is changing.
And the opportunity for anyone to gain personal wealth has never been greater.
Those who keep up with, identify, and take advantage of our evolving society's trends can change their lives, their families' lives, and countless other lives for the better.
But this fast-paced world we have created has left many struggling.
Trying to simply stay afloat in traditional jobs.
Working long hours, taking orders, and living in constant fear of being laid off.
Many just don't have any control of their lives. They're rushing to keep up and spiraling into debt.
There seems to be no time.
No time to listen, learn, and make the correct choices to change their destinies.
No time to eat properly and make the correct choices to live healthier, longer lives.
And no time to spend with their families and help them to make important life decisions.
But this doesn't have to be the case.
In just 30 minutes, you can learn how to make the correct choices while maintaining your current job.
In these 30 minutes, you will find that there are already 10 million families that have already listened, learned, and taken control of their destinies, and in doing so, became millionaires.
And you will find that you too can be one of the new 10 million millionaires that will be created in the next 10 years.
How? By staking your claim in the already $500 billion wellness industry.
The need for health and wellness products and services is growing.
It's a proven success and on its way to becoming one of our nation's great trillion-dollar industries over the next 5 years.
A business you can do from your own home.
Where you are the boss.
Where you control how much you make.
And where you can earn freedom.
The freedom to live life as you choose.
The freedom to spend time with your family.
And the freedom to help others to do the same.
It's called direct selling.
Where sharing wellness products with others can bring the true rewards of the American dream to anyone, not just in America, but throughout the free world.
So make the choice to spend the next 30 minutes with the world-renowned economist Zane Pilzer as he educates a select audience of already successful direct selling professionals on how to take the next step towards earning the title millionaire.
Economist Zane Pilzer is a multi-millionaire entrepreneur, an adjunct professor, and the author of 8 best-selling books.
The founder of several businesses, this young entrepreneur earned his first $1 million before age 26 and his first $10 million before age 30.
He was an appointed economic advisor in 2 presidential administrations and warned of the impending $200 billion savings and loan crisis years before Washington was willing to listen.
In his most recent book, The New Wellness Revolution, Pilzer identifies the newly emerging wellness business and explains how wellness entrepreneurs can find their fortunes in this soon-to-be $1 trillion industry.
And now, Zane Pilzer.
Thank you very much for inviting me here today. I'm excited to share with you my latest research on the fastest growing industry in the world, wellness. Why? Because everyone wants better health. They want to live longer, look younger, enjoy life more as they age. In short, they want wellness. And now for the first time in history, there are proven things people can do to feel better, lose weight, prevent disease, and become younger and stronger even as they grow older. That's why the wellness business is the hottest trend in the world today. Wellness has skyrocketed from $200 billion in sales in 2002 to approximately $500 billion in 2007, and the meter is still running. By the year 2012, wellness will join the $2 trillion healthcare industry, the $1 trillion PC industry, and the $1.3 trillion food industry as the next trillion-dollar industry in our economy. And yet, as you will learn here today, the majority of opportunities in wellness still await the individual entrepreneur. New management techniques and forms of business organization, like direct selling, can allow you even better technology than if you were part of a large corporation. This trend will continue for at least another decade until wellness is a mature industry and the majority of wellness consumers are not new to wellness. In my 2002 book, The Wellness Revolution, it was the shot heard round the world for the wellness industry. This book was the first to define wellness as an industry, linking hundreds of thousands of disparate service and product suppliers with a single cause. It showed like-minded scientists, fitness providers, business people, food manufacturers, restaurant owners, wellness product distributors, doctors, and so many others focused on disease prevention and anti-aging that they were part of a worldwide revolution, not just a lone iconoclast inside their chosen profession or industry. In the 20th century, our lives were revolutionized by things like the automobile, airline travel, and the personal computer. In these cases, initial discoveries led to the birth of empires and to unprecedented individual wealth for those entrepreneurs and investors who got in first. The next big thing of the 21st century has begun, and it promises to similarly revolutionize our lives and offer opportunities for tremendous wealth building over the next 10 years. Following the publication of The Wellness Revolution in 2002, I was called the economist turned wellness guru by the New York Times. I received an honorary doctorate for the role played by this book in helping Congress pass health savings accounts and other healthcare financial reforms that now allow wellness-oriented consumers to save money on their health insurance and finance their wellness. The Wellness Revolution was published in 12 languages and became the focal point for an international wellness community. Thousands of people contacted me to share their wellness experiences and tell me about their new business opportunities in this exciting, growing $1 trillion industry. But so much has changed in the world economy, in technology, and in new legislation favoring the individual over the organization that I needed to write 2 new books, The New Wellness Revolution and The Next Millionaires, which we are going to talk about here today. Since 2002, wellness has grown to a $500 billion industry. Over the past 5 years, millions of people have had their first wellness experience. They lost weight, got stronger, eliminated chronic disease, and so many other things that they previously thought couldn't happen to them. With this enormous 250% growth since 2002, the market and the business opportunity for wellness has greatly expanded. But despite this, while millions of people embraced wellness during the past 5 years, sadly, millions more turned the opposite direction. The percentage of overweight Americans rose from 61 to 65%, and the increase in diet-related diseases such as type 2 diabetes now make the United States look medically like a third-world nation. The opportunity has never been better for anyone to become an entrepreneur in the wellness industry, because millionaires, and particularly new millionaires who earn their fortunes in wellness, are the fastest-growing minority in the United States and the developed world today. When I was growing up in the 1950s, millionaires were fictional characters on television shows like The Millionaire or in comic strips like Little Orphan Annie. I remember then thinking I wanted to shave my head like Daddy Warbucks and to help me get there. Even on the Millionaire television show, the millionaire, John Beresford Tipton, never appeared on the camera. As a child, I remember asking my dad to go out to dinner, and he would tell me, "What do you think we are, millionaires?" But by 1991, the amazing U.S. economy had spawned 3.6 million U.S. households that had a net worth of $1 million or more. Then, in the next 15 years, the number of millionaire households tripled to 10 million. It took the U.S. economy 215 years to create the first 3.6 million millionaire households by 1991, but then just 15 years to create 7.2 million more households. As explained and predicted in my 1991 book, Unlimited Wealth, what happened in the 1990s was the beginning of a 40-year period of international economic growth. From 1991 to 2006, U.S. household wealth increased fivefold. That's 500%. From $13 trillion to $65 trillion today. And a similar economic expansion occurred in every developed nation except Japan. Now, there have always been periods of economic growth and wealth accumulation. But in the past, this often meant that the rich got richer and the ordinary person didn't stand a chance. What was so unique about the 1990s was the enormous number of new households that shared in this wealth. But the 1990s and the first half of this decade were only the beginning. We are now living in a period that will one day be known as the democratization of wealth, not just in the United States, but in every nation from China to Europe. Because of fundamental changes in the world economy, in technology, and in new legislation favoring the individual over the organization, we are beginning a period of democratization of wealth that would make Karl Marx stand up and cheer. But even Marx couldn't have fathomed what is happening today. For we are not taking from the rich and giving to the poor. We are creating new wealth in which everyone who chooses to can share. Today, more than 10 million U.S. households have a net worth of $1 million or more, and that's just the beginning. By 2016, there will be 20 million U.S. millionaire households. Each household represents approximately 2.5 people, meaning that 50 million Americans will soon live in a household with a net worth of $1 million or more. Millionaires are the fastest growing minority in the United States and the developed world today. And as people become millionaires or just increase their wealth on the way to becoming one, the most important thing they desire with their newfound wealth is wellness. The more people increase their wealth, the greater proportion of their income they spend on wellness. Why? It's obvious, because having more wellness allows them to enjoy more of, and for a longer time, everything else they can afford by being rich. No wonder wellness is the fastest growing sector of the economy today, particularly for the millions of millionaires that our economy continues to spawn year by year. One of the most fascinating parts of my research is discovering who is becoming a millionaire today. For becoming a millionaire seems to have less correlation each year with your race, religion, country of origin, or even your parents or your education. When the Forbes 400 list of the richest 400 Americans was first published in 1981, it contained Rockefellers, Morgans, Astors, families that were the world's richest in the 1900s and had become synonymous with American wealth. Today, 26 years later, only 40 of the original 400 or their children remain on the list. And none of these family names are in the top 10. The top 10 on the Forbes 400 list today possess 32% of the total wealth of the richest 400 Americans. But rather than the rich getting richer, all of the top 10 on the Forbes 400 list today were born poor or middle class, and only 2 of the top 10 finished college. Great success is now more than ever before in human history about making a choice. Of course, your education, your parents, and other factors outside your control play a role, but the largest determinants of success today are the choices you make. It is time now for you to make a choice. The choice to become one of, or help create more of, the next 10 million millionaire households that will be created in the next 10 years. All right. There are many paths to success you can choose. However, the trends and odds are stacked in favor of those who choose the emerging wellness industry. For as you will soon see, starting a wellness business creates the perfect storm of opportunity for you to make a lot of money and to help others live a more enriched life, physically, spiritually, and financially. Let's talk now about the notion of demand and how it operates in relation to wellness. Sadly, the enormous growth the wellness industry is experiencing today is not driven just by the demand for its new and exciting wellness products. Today, the $1.3 trillion existing food industry targets overweight and obese consumers for ever-increasing consumption, causing a health crisis in the United States that finds 65% of the population currently overweight and 30% clinically obese. These tragic numbers have doubled in the past 2 decades and have increased 7% in just the last 5 years, and in other developed nations such as in the EU, Japan, Australia, Canada, and Taiwan. Today, the existing $2 trillion medical, or really sickness industry, makes most of its fortune by only treating the symptoms of disease versus curing disease. 95% of the prescriptions filled in the U.S. today are for drugs you are expected to take for the rest of your life, treating only the symptoms of disease versus curing a disease. Together, the $1.3 trillion food industry and the $2 trillion sickness industry total a combined $3.3 trillion. This has created one of the greatest business opportunities of our time, fighting sickness by educating consumers and distributing the healthy food and the necessary vitamins and supplements that people need to lose weight, stay healthy, prevent disease, and slow down the effects of aging. Distribution has always held the greatest opportunities within any new industry, but it's important to note that the nature of the opportunity within distribution has recently changed, from the physical distribution of products themselves to the intellectual distribution of information about them. Sam Walton of Walmart fame became the richest man in the world 30 years ago, by physically distributing to consumers what they already knew they wanted. However, more recently, Jeff Bezos of Amazon.com was Time Magazine's Man of the Year. He was honored for teaching customers about products that they didn't know even existed. Nowhere is this truer than in the emerging wellness industry, an industry in which most of the costs of products and services lie in their distribution, and in which the overwhelming majority of future customers do not even know that the products exist. Let's face it, though, many people are not doctors, health professionals, or experienced business people. You may be asking yourself, what is the best place for me to get started in wellness without putting my savings or job at risk? One of my favorites, particularly for new entrepreneurs and for busy individuals looking for extra cash, is direct selling, which is also called referral marketing, network marketing, or multi-level marketing. But whatever it's called, it's something anyone can do. Education doesn't matter, experience doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your passion for helping others to achieve optimal health. Moreover, with a home-based business, you don't have to go through the traditional hiring process or risk a large cash investment. And the personal growth and training provided by most direct selling opportunities can be positive and life-changing whether or not one opts to pursue the business to create wealth or help our world enjoy optimal health. For most people just getting started, as well as for experienced business people, the direct selling industry is a great place to find their wellness fortune. Who wouldn't want the time freedom and the financial freedom allowed you by starting your own home-based business? You can make as much as you're willing to work for, and you can usually get started for less than $100. You can even work part-time until your business takes off. Each of us has generic abilities, functional skills, and personal relationships based on what we have done in our lives until now. These are our most valuable assets. My most important message to you is that you should stake your claim to your share of the emerging $1 trillion wellness industry, best utilizing the assets you already have. From providing services to distributing products to investing in wellness companies, there are numerous opportunities. But the best ones for each of us are the ones that best utilize the assets we have. In the 33 years since I graduated college, I've been a government official in the White House, a vice president with Citicorp, the founder and CEO of several companies, and an adjunct professor at New York University. Looking back today on all of these experiences, the place where I have seen the greatest positive impact made on the largest number of individuals has been in the direct selling industry. Personally, I've never been directly involved with a direct selling company or endorsed any individual company's product or business opportunity. Although I'm sometimes referred to as an expert on the direct selling industry, I didn't even know what direct selling, multi-level marketing, or network marketing was when I was first invited to speak at a direct selling event in March 1991. Let me tell you how the direct selling industry found me back then. Ever since I first became an economist in 1976, I've been fascinated by distribution and its changing role in our economy. In February 1991, as part of the book tour for Unlimited Wealth, I presented my theories about distribution on the Larry King Live television show. After this appearance, the first person who called me to discuss the show was Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart and then the richest man in the world. The second person who called was a top direct selling distributor who invited me to speak at his convention the following month. I remember frantically trying to understand what direct selling was all about in preparing for this speech. My host told me not to worry about his business, but to just concentrate on speaking about my business, economics and distribution. When I received the itinerary for this event, I was surprised that my speech was scheduled for Saturday evening at 9 p.m. and that the attire was formal wear. Who hires an economist to speak on a weekend, let alone on a black tie Saturday night? I was sure I was at the wrong place when I came to the ballroom at 8 p.m. to check out the venue. The lights were low, and 3,500 people were dancing to singer Crystal Gayle, who was up on stage. Then at 9 p.m., they turned up the lights and ran a video introduction of my speech. Everyone became silent and returned to their seats, took out pen and paper, and began taking detailed notes. After my 2-hour speech, I ended up talking about economics in a hotel suite with 60 of their leaders until 6 a.m. the following morning. Over the next decade, that company distributed over 10 million tapes of my speech. Since this first encounter with the direct selling industry in March 1991, I've given hundreds of speeches to different direct selling companies around the world. I've studied the industry and written articles about the role of direct selling in our world economy. Fortune 500 companies and billionaire investors like Warren Buffett have made tremendous investments in direct selling. And my wife and I have developed friendships over the years with many of the leaders we've met from the direct selling industry. We personally know hundreds of people who have made multi-million-dollar fortunes as distributors. I am so supportive of the direct selling industry today, mostly because it allows anyone to succeed without first having to pass through a gatekeeper who decides your future based on your past. And it also allows people to make their own decision to succeed and then to get the training they need from people who only succeed when they succeed. While all this is true about the industry in general, it is particularly true for direct selling companies in the wellness industry. The combination of direct selling with wellness has created the perfect storm of opportunity. Why? Because direct selling success in the wellness industry is almost entirely about something I call intellectual distribution. Let me give you some history. In the 1960s and early 1970s, when the modern direct selling model was in its infancy, the business very much resembled having your store in a living room and physically handing out products. No longer. In contrast, direct selling today is almost wholly intellectual distribution. When a direct seller discusses a product or service with a consumer, they rarely hand over the product. They rely on UPS, FedEx, or some other delivery service to ship the product to the consumer direct from the company, which in turn credits the sale to the direct seller. Direct sellers are typically out of the loop of physical delivery and serve a wholly intellectual or educational function. I saw this firsthand in the early 1990s when I developed an educational software product line. We had a product that could make a real difference in a child's life, but telling people about it was far more expensive than producing it. We were pretty much dead in the water until we connected with a large network marketing company that took on the distribution of our product. The companies that are prospering and will continue to prosper today in direct selling are those that have adopted a model of having their independent distributors, also sometimes called representatives, independent business owners, distributors, associates, or brokers, focus almost entirely on intellectual distribution, teaching people about products and services that will improve their lives. Those that really flourish have some sort of unique or proprietary technology, product, or service. And not just unique products or services, but efficacious ones, better than anything else out there. Traditionally, direct selling shines with information-rich products or services. This means products or services that are sitting on retail shelves not selling because they are not widely known or understood, and that therefore need a significant amount of information to go with them. In practical terms, this often means products and services that are of especially high value, premium products or services. Premium means quality, and quality is premium in the direct selling industry. Successful direct selling companies understand the continuous shift between quantity demand and quality demand, and understand that only the highest quality products will survive over the long term. The reason direct selling is especially well suited to wellness premium products and services is that they need to be sold by people who can explain them. Direct selling today is typically done person to person by someone who is also a user of the product or service. Unlike the car salesperson, electronic salesperson, or clothing salesperson, the direct seller is an educated, enthusiastic, experienced user of the product or service they sell. When I talk about direct selling trends, I'm invariably asked about the internet. One question that comes up is whether the internet will replace all the people making their living selling products. As powerful as the internet is, it hasn't replaced the one-on-one personal function of the modern direct seller, any more than did the television infomercials of the 1980s and 90s, and it never will. The reason for this is one of the great limits of the technology. What's lacking with the internet is the same thing that's lacking with television. It's a passive medium. Conventional advertising media are not effective at delivering intellectually challenging information, which is a euphemism for new ideas. This is because most of our information media today are forms of passive media. Television is a very passive medium for learning. We can't really use it to teach new ideas. It's the same with newspapers, and to a great extent, the same is true of the internet. When you go on to Amazon.com, you may not know exactly what book you want, but you know you are looking for a book on a particular topic. You only go online to learn about a product when you want to learn about it. That is, you already know that something like it exists. Direct selling works because one-to-one personal conversations are the best way to learn brand new information about a completely new way of doing something. The person who can teach or share with me new ways of doing things is one of the most important people in my life. The investment advisor who shows me tools to help me maximize my wealth. The wellness advisors who introduce me to a product that will stop the pain in my knees. These are the people whose services I value. I do business with people whose services might cost a bit more than what I might find on the internet, but because they're always teaching me something or adding value, they're more than worth it. The more new products come along, the more I need these people to advise and educate me about them. The internet has taken over the important function of teaching people things they already know they want to learn. But the really vital sales function of teaching people about things they don't yet know they want to learn because they don't yet know they're available will always be an educational model that will function best person to person. Direct selling is the single most effective medium we have today for teaching people about new products and services that will improve their lives, either products or services they didn't know existed or ones they didn't know had now become affordable. One of the other great things I like about direct selling is its ability to create residual income, the type of income common in virtually all millionaire households today. Residual income is income that continues to flow after the work that created it has been completed. Income that is, in other words, residue remaining from the original effort. Not everyone is going to develop a significant piece of income-generating real estate, or not everyone is going to write a best-selling book, both of which can create residual income. But direct selling provides the opportunity open to anyone, regardless of background, specialized skills, or net worth, to create a significant residual income. In direct selling, the property that you develop is the network of friends, family, and acquaintances whose sales volume generates a commission to you, the creator of the network. Here's how it works. With a direct selling business, your greatest financial opportunity comes from sharing, using, and experiencing products and services with others, who each start their own businesses and consume your company's product or services, generating additional business volume, a small percentage of which is paid to you. They also, in turn, recruit and train others who do the same. If someone were to sell you a franchise kit for a huge fee, and franchises can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, they would have made their money and you would now have the risk. If you then failed, who would have lost? You. But in direct selling, if someone recruits you and then you fail, they are the ones who lose. They lose all the time they spent recruiting and training you, and all you've lost is the nominal cost to get started, typically less than $100. Virtually anyone can succeed. You won't need a formal education or experience, just the desire to help yourself and others to a more enriched life. You can start earning money and start increasing your cash flow immediately, and some of you can go on to build great fortunes. So, how long does it take? Most responsible direct sellers will advise that you should expect to put in a consistent effort for 2 to 5 years, and in this time be able to create a significant stream of long-term residual income. Today, many direct selling businesses offer wellness products, scientifically engineered supplements, standardized nutritional products, life-enhancing juices, the list goes on and on. Which is the best product for you? Take a look closely at the research. Look at the scientific studies. Note the benefits, and then try to make an educated decision on which one to try. First, solely as a customer. Then, when you are feeling better, looking better, and feel like stepping out into the world and sharing, well, then you've taken the first step into becoming one of the next millionaires in the wellness industry. There are already 10 million U.S. millionaire households, and this figure will double by 2016 when there will be 20 million, which means that 50 million Americans will soon live in a household with a net worth of $1 million or more. And one of the first things these new millionaires will desire as their wealth increases is wellness. The wellness industry is at $500 billion in sales today, up from only $200 billion in sales 5 years ago. And this is still just the tip of the iceberg, for wellness will double again to $1 trillion in just the next 5 years, both by itself and as a counterforce to the terrible effects caused by the $1.3 trillion bad food industry and our $2 trillion sickness industry. Many of the next 10 million millionaires and many of the next great fortunes to be made in wellness will be made in the direct selling industry. Together, 10 million new millionaires are about to be created in the next 10 years. The $500 billion wellness industry will reach $1 trillion in the next 5 years. And the new direct selling industry, with its focus on intellectual versus physical distribution, have all created a perfect storm of opportunity for new entrepreneurs to make their fortunes in an industry that does incredible good: wellness. Never before in history has a business opportunity had the potential to have such an incredibly positive impact on the lives of its customers. As I study and research the trends creating the next 10 million millionaire households, it gratifies me to no end to know that many of the next millionaires are here with us in this room today. Thank you very much for inviting me here today. God bless you all.
You now have the opportunity to choose to allow this message to do more than revolutionize the way you think about your present financial situation.
And inspire you and everyone you know to help each other live better, healthier, and wealthier lives in the future.
The resolve that we would like you to consider is, I will take action now to change my life for the better.
And I will become financially free.
Get back with the person who shared this message with you and stake your claim in the soon-to-be $1 trillion industry: wellness.